Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of pre-recorded live stream. Couple things I want to get off the bat here. Number one, I only have one drink today, no 3 drinks today, kind of breaking my rule. So there's been a bit of a hiatus on both Casual Classroom's podcast and the main channel, Casual Classroom, because as I stated in the last podcast and I believe in the last video, I had to move because my apartment building was condemned. And then AT&T decided to be a real big bitch about everything, and my internet would not work. So I am over AT&T, and now I love Cox. And so if you are new to how things work over here at pre-recorded live stream, A, thank you for joining us. B, subscribe. C, like. D, ring the bell. E, leave a comment. What are you doing? Time is running out. But anyways, what we do here is that every week I talk about what I've read, what I've watched, and usually the topic for the video posted on the main channel for that week. Sorry, had to clear my throat there. Pre-recorded live stream is a bit more of a casual and authentic experience, so from time to time you may hear me clear my throat or vomit. Sorry, that was a stupid bit. A lot of this podcast is predicated on tangents and stupid bits, and you need to remember that going forward. Thank you. But anyways, yeah, we won't be talking about, the topic over on the main channel. That will be coming next week since there is no video this week. Sorry that this one has been delayed so much. I do think you guys are really gonna like this video. But yeah, I have not had internet, and you can't exactly, edit videos on public Wi-Fi. You know, is what it is, but things should be getting back to normal now. So, this week I could not watch any anime really, so we're going to be talking about a lot of movies, because when I actually moved to, 2 apartments ago, I've had to have a lot of apartments frequently. I wasn't going to have internet for a week, so I went out and bought a Blu-ray player, which has been very helpful since I've had so many issues with AT&T, but now I love Cox. So, I watched a lot of movies this week. Me and my girlfriend watched a lot of these together, popped over to the old Best Buy and bought some Blu-rays. I gotta tell you, a lot of those are so cheap now. As a tween who was just getting into movies, especially comic book movies and stuff, I would buy every single Blu-ray for every superhero movie that I saw and liked, which was all of them. And so I have a sort of shameful collection of a lot of films. And it is shameful. I was still buying these movies when I should not have been buying them. Buy all the superhero movies you want, obviously. But the issue is, these movies are very bad, and I spent real money on them. I have the 2017 cut of Justice League on Blu-ray, as well as Batman v Superman. Let me think, what else? I have both the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I have Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell. All 3 Hangover movies. But anyways, we're not talking about that. The first one, though, is actually not one that this is actually not one that I saw on DVD. I saw this at the old movie theater. I saw Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. My girlfriend and I went and checked this out because we're both not the biggest D&D fans, but we've played it before, and we both find it very fun. But I fucking loved this movie. It was fantastic. I've really liked a lot of movies lately that star a lovable criminal scamp. This and Puss in Boots, I think, are a lovely double feature. But yeah, it was a really cool experience because the theater was packed, and we went I think mid-afternoon on a Thursday, and it was still a very crowded theater, so that made me very happy. And it was just really cool to see a ton of people gathered up for a Dungeons and Dragons movie, and a good one at that. And there were trailers for anime movies and stuff playing, and I don't know, it was just a really cool moment for wow, broader nerd culture and a lot more like mainstream, and there are downsides to that, but I think that overall it's definitely good. Now, the thing I was looking forward to most from this movie was the creatures, because I I had this habit as a kid, and this has sort of carried over into my adulthood, where oh man, as a kid, I loved animals. I still do, and I like love like nature in general. I say that I love nature now instead of animals because it sounds a bit less like I'm 7 years old. But anyways, I would have these like big fucking encyclopedias of just like all these different types of animals, and I would read about the animals in my books, and I had this big binder, and I would print out pictures of them in color. So I must have been cost my family a fucking fortune in printer ink. But and then I would print them off and stick them in my binder and like write the names on them. But that sort of carried over into my adulthood because I love a like well thought out like cool looking like fictional creature. In D&D is so many of them. So does Avatar. Avatar has a lot of great ones. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I meant Avatar, the Blue People movies. I don't know. They're usually just like, whoa, it's a jaguar, but it has 6 legs. Whoa, it's a moose, but it has 6 legs. We get it, Jimmy Cameron. You love when they have 6 legs. We get it, Jimmy. But anyways, I loved the creatures from this movie. Like, I guess the owlbear didn't make like a like true appearance since it was the tiefling character shape-shifting into the owlbear, but love the owlbear. That's my favorite D&D creature. Two of my favorite animals are both bears and owls, so naturally I love the owlbear, and if it's out there, the bear owl would be wonderful. But I really liked the like this is gonna be like spoilers, it's been out for like a little bit. Also, like 7 people listen to this. I really liked the panther that like had the projection thingies. I thought that that was very interesting. Oh my gosh, I loved Jonathan. At the very beginning bit, there's a bit where the 2 main characters are trying to get pardoned to get out of jail, and they're specifically waiting on this one character to get there for like the hearing, and they're like stalling for them to get there. And you think that's because like they like know each other, but no, it's just because he's like an eagle man, and Chris Pine fucking grabs him and just leaps out of the window. Oh man, this movie is so funny. All the characters are so good. Everyone in the party was fuckable, which is very, very essential, I think, for an ensemble film. I just think that it's a necessity. If you're not going to have that, why would you make a movie? Why would you even deem to make something creative? Let me think. What else? The fat dragon was amazing and hilarious. Although I was a little miffed. At one point, in like a flashback, I think, once again, I saw this a few weeks ago, we saw a dragon that spit like acid, and I was really hoping we were going to see that again. We saw it very briefly, but very interested in that. The whole movie was a lot more focused on action than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be more comedic, but I also really did not watch any of the trailers, I don't think, so hey. I really don't watch trailers anymore if it's something that I know I want to go see. I'm just going to go see it. I like going in blind. But the action was fantastic, so like I really did not mind that it was more focused on action than I had anticipated. If you've seen Community, the main villain, very Pierce-coded. Very, very Pierce-coded. After, like, there's a flashback where, like, you think he's, like, a really, like, nice guy, and then you meet him again, it's just clear that, like, he's, like, a slimy, like, sack of shit. Like, you can just, like, smell it on him, and just, so Pierce-coded. Chevy Chase should have played him and made the set a fucking nightmare. Speaking of Community, I was very worried the whole time that there would be like a cutaway to like the real world of like if people are playing this game and that they would all be losers. Because, like, it's I didn't want to like see like any real world people because it just makes like the stakes in the story I care about not matter and make me watch this other thing that I don't fucking care about. And B, if you want to contrast them to like your cool heroic party, I feel like 99 times out of 10 a lot of these writers will just make them dorks, and that's just like not like it's just not like a fun environment. Like it would feel like they had like invited you over and were like, hey, we're gonna play D&D, and you're like, that's cool, I like that, and then you got there and they're like, you're a fucking loser, you're a dork, I hate you. So yeah, that's why I've never liked that trope, because it feels like you invited me in, why are you being a fucking asshole? Oh, goodness. That was a good bit. Man, I'm so funny. So, The Hunger Games has been getting a lot more attention lately due to them being on Netflix and then leaving Netflix like immediately, apparently. But anyways, oh yeah, by the way, the next movie I'm talking about is The Hunger Games. So, catch up, buddy. But yeah, my girlfriend and I were rewatching The Hunger Games the other day, and guys, this children's movie has some flaws, and I think I discovered them. One of my biggest annoyances with like, and by the way, it's a fine movie. Like, it's all right. It's a pretty good time. But one of my like big annoyances with the movie and the world at large is that it doesn't feel like there's any sort of unified like theme or like aesthetic to it. And like sometimes that can work if like say like for like Warhammer, which like I love Warhammer, 40K specifically. There are so many like different aesthetics. Like there are like Egyptian robots and there are like orcs and there's like crazy like Nazi like military guys. But like there is the like overarching like dark sci-fi fantasy. But in this they have like Roman architecture and like there's like a ton of like neon shit and like I don't know. It was just like really clashing and it really like I just did not like it. This movie though, which I did not realize because I probably have not seen this movie since I was like 14 maybe. But this movie is fucking star-studded, dude. And I love Woody Harrelson as Haymitch. He is amazing, but I love Woody Harrelson in general. He is one of my favorite actors. But the Hunger Games series should not, I don't think, have been about like Katniss as like a character. And mainly because Jennifer Lawrence in these movies is just not very interesting or compelling. And like this was very early in her career, and I think that she is a very good actress, but I just don't think that she's very good in these movies, especially not this one. What this movie series should have been about, and my love for anthologies is going to come out again, but it should have just been about the different Hunger Games. The kids killing each other in the big ass arena is the best thing about this series. Everyone knows it. Why did they make it about a fucking revolution where they stop doing that? That is the opposite of doing something interesting. You are taking away the one thing that people, like, collectively liked about this. Like, that's why this was successful. You know why The Maze Runner wasn't successful? No big arena where they murder each other. You know why Divergent wasn't as successful? No big arena where they murder each other. That's all I'm saying. And they might have those, but also, I haven't read or watched them. So, speaking of the actual, like, game in this movie, bit of a letdown. The forest is not that, like, interesting of a setting. I do get why they chose it. After you think about like how many like stars are in this movie, and it does have a lot of special effects as well. The marketing budget was huge too. They probably did not have a lot more money to like move around, so I'm guessing that the setting being this forest, which would have been pretty cheap to film, probably saved their asses on a lot of stuff. Also, man, the I mean, it's no one's fault but time, but the CGI, it looks pretty funky. Especially there's a scene where like Katniss and Pita come out on their little fire chariot and like they're doing the big fashion show. Man, it looks weird as fuck. There's so many like just vast voids in this film, just vast, endless CGI voids, and they look really weird. I love President Snow. I wish that my job was to just walk around a garden and pontificate upon different things. I think that that would be really lovely as a career. I think that I think that my biggest problem with the like forest setting of the games in this movie is that it's not like a very like specific type of forest, if that makes sense. Like if it was like, oh yeah, it's like a forest, but like it has like a ton of like waterfalls and like a lot of like caves and shit. That would be cool. Or if it was like, oh, it's a forest, but it's like pretty mountainous, or it's like a swampy forest. Those would all be way better, but no, it's just like a forest filled with grass. Also, like, God, I fucking hate PETA. And everyone's like, oh man, PETA or Gale. And I know that, like, Gale apparently kills her, like, little sister later or something. Whatever. She's annoying, anyways. Fucking kill her. Man, I do not care. But, anyways, people always hate on Gale. Man, he just, like, doesn't seem to like very much that Katniss is there, especially with PETA. And, like, that's fair. He doesn't have to like it. Like, like, if he were to, like, do something like about it, like if he was like being like a dick because of it, that would be different. But like I think he's being fine. I also watched this a few weeks ago, so if he like shoots someone and I don't remember that, that's on you, honestly. Should you should remind me in the comments when I'm wrong. And if you don't remind me that I'm wrong, then the further spread of misinformation is on you. How does that make you feel? But anyways, sorry about that. You're a really lovely, lovely person, I'm sure. I think that a much better setting for this would have been one of those big ass trampoline parks. I mean, enough said, right? Like, what do I even say beyond that? Like, it's a giant trampoline park, and you're gonna have teenagers trying to kill each other in it. Imagine, like, oh, imagine if one of them had, like, swords and they were on that, like, just the big area with all the, like, little trampolines around. They could just, like, fucking spin around, cut people up. Man, oh, man, that would be so cool. Oh, I'm getting way too excited about this. Man, I wish I could be in a Hunger Games at a trampoline park. What would I do? I think my strategy would be mostly grenades based. And grenades and bank shots. My whole strategy would be grenades and bank shots. I think that that would be a really good strategy. I mean, I do play a lot of Junkrat in Overwatch, so I think that I would get the hang of it pretty quickly, which we will be talking about Overwatch later. There was some new Overwatch stuff. Okay, next up. I am so excited to talk about this movie. It is one of the best horror films of all time. And you might think, if you've watched or listened to a lot of my stuff, or if you're one of the people that listens to this that knows me in real life, which, love you, thank you so much, you might think that I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not. I'm talking about The Thing. This movie, John Carpenter's The Thing, is so good. It is one of my favorite films ever. It is one of the best horror movies of all time. And it has some of the best special effects of all time. Especially because, like, you gotta, like, kind of, like, compare it to, like, the era. Like, I would also say that about, like, probably, like, Empire Strikes Back or, like, Return of the Jedi. Probably Return of the Jedi more so than Empire. I don't like that movie as much, but, like, Jabba and the Sarlacc Pit are both, like, insane. But anyways, back to The Thing. First off, what always, like, comes to mind for me first with this movie is the setting. This movie takes place in Antarctica, and it is, oh, it's so cold and dark and isolated, and it's so fucking scary, and it just feels so, like, feels so claustrophobic because the outside is like such an active threat against your well-being. McCready is a fantastic main character as well. I always forget how much I actually like him when I watch this movie because I like how fucking unheroic he is. He just turns into an insane man with a flamethrower, and it is great. Cause he's so unhinged, but like you know that like he's doing this like for like his survival, and he's doing like the smart thing for that. So like you can still root for him, but man, he sucks. Also, the dog actor. Let's talk about this fucking dog, man. Okay, this dog is so good. The dog, the dog. What dog am I talking about? I'm talking about the dog that opens this movie. If you've never seen The Thing, it starts with these Norwegian guys shooting at this husky that's running towards the Antarctic base that the movie takes place at. By the way, if you don't know why they're shooting at him, it's because that's the thing. Keep up, buddy. Okay? Keep up, buddy. That's all I'm saying. They do such a good job through, like, the dog actor is incredible, and the direction and, like, all of the, like, production stuff around when the dog is on screen. They just somehow perfectly portray that this dog is not a dog, and it's pretending to be one, and it's, like, learning as it goes, and it is so fucking unnerving. Like, man. When I was a little kid, so one of the encyclopedias I would read a lot, or one of the types, was about like monsters and stuff, because like I've always liked horror stuff. One of them that really disturbed me, because I had this little Yorkshire Terrier named Oliver. May he rest in peace. God love him. I read this thing about this like type of like spirit that would like possess your animal. You would like never know if it was happening. Like they would like go from like really like cold and aloof to like really nice, so that you would like like love them and be like, oh hello, and then they like fucking possess you. And oh my god, I don't think I touched my dog for like a week. I was so scared of him. Oh man. Oh, that horrified me. Now, like, let me get, like, the obvious thing out of the way right now. The effects are obviously amazing. Like, they are so beautiful and fun. They have so much imagination in them. My favorite part, personally, is the, chest cavity opening up when that guy's getting defibrillated, if that's how you say that. And then he has like the telescopic neck and like the spider thing. That whole sequence is just like fantastic. I really, really love it. Oh, they actually reference it in Gravity Falls. There's an episode with a shapeshifter, and he does that like telescopic neck at one point. It's a pretty fun little reference. But what I really want to talk about is something that I never hear people talking about, and that's that everyone in this film is drunk. Like the whole time. It's so funny. They're like doing like science, presumably, whatever they're doing down here, and they're just like fucking swigging bottles. Like everyone is just drinking from the bottle. Like they wake up in the morning, and after they brush their teeth, they go Kesha wash it down with a bottle of Jack. It's crazy, man. But then that, of course, leads into the fan theory of this movie, and I'm not gonna cover this movie like a ton. Go watch it if you've never seen it. Oh my god, go watch it. The thing is so good. It's a little slow to start, but once it gets going, oh, it does not let up. It's so good. But the final theory, at one point, they have a ton of like Molotov cocktails, and they are just torching the whole like facility. And at the end, it's left to McCready and one other guy. McCready is the only character's name that I can remember in this. And there's this theory that when McCready hands him like a bottle of booze, being like, oh, we don't know like where the thing is, here, have a drink. There's a theory that that's like gasoline in there, or like ethanol, whatever they use for the cocktails. because we never see McCready take a drink, and when he does, McCready like sort of like knowingly looks at him. I think it's a cool theory. That's how I like to interpret the end of this movie. But yeah, go watch The Thing if you never have. John Carpenter's The Thing. Amazing movie. One of the best horror movies of all time. Oh, did I say that that was the last movie I was going to talk about? Well, I'm not going to go back and listen to it to see if I actually did. So if I did, that was either a joke or a lie. Don't know if I have decided yet. Next up, we are going to talk about Coraline. I saw Coraline for the first time, never saw it as a kid. It scared me. It looked spooky. It looked too scary for little old me. Yeah, first time seeing it. Oh my god, this movie is amazing. The stop motion just blew my mind. Like, it's incredible. Man, but it is just as impressive now. I mean, like, stop motion, I think, will, like, always be impressive because, like, I feel like it'll never really get, like, easier. But, oh my gosh, just amazing. The way that they also, like, use different like textures with each other was really fantastic. There's the sequence where Coraline, who's made of like clay, I guess, crawls through a like tube made of like fabric, and the textures just interact really, really cool. This movie was still a little creepy, even still now, and even though I'm an adult and usually very brave, the other mother can kind of get it until she turns into like a giant skeleton woman. I don't like that. But yes, Coraline, also a very good movie. Also, go watch that now. But not right now, because first I have to very briefly talk about manga. Yeah, I read more than I'm gonna let on right now because I want to talk about it like more as a whole later. I started the first like full feeling arc of Kaiju number 8, the one where they as like a team fight the first kaiju together when Kafka is on he's like ah shoot, what's the word I'm looking for? He's like interning, right? They're like kind of like testing him out, I guess. The action is incredibly fun, and I love the antagonists that the deuteragonist and that side character had to fight. He is very creepy, and I like him a lot. And also, this series is really, really funny. I also love Kafka. He is such a great character. I really like this more old man shonen, which I also get to talk about with Sakamoto Days. Because, yes, Kafka is like 33, but Sakamoto, the arguably deuteragonist of Sakamoto Days, is like, I think, like in his 50s, it kind of seems like. I've only read volume 1 so far of Sakamoto Days. But yeah, with Kaiju and Sakamoto, there's a lot more old man shonen coming out. It's very cool because they have to deal with like different problems than the like 12 to 16-year-old protagonists usually. It is very, very funny so far, Sakamoto Days. I really, really love the relationship between Sakamoto and Shin, especially Shin's clairvoyancy. But that is kind of all I have or want to say about Sakamoto Days right now because I have a lot more of it to get to. So, okay, final thing that we have to talk about today is Overwatch. I love Overwatch. I talked about it a bit in the last episode. And by the way, yeah, I'm going to be posting these on Wednesdays. I probably should have said that earlier, but saying it now. But I play a lot of Overwatch. I love this game. And they just added a new character and started a new season, so we're going to talk about that a bit. The character is Lifeweaver. He is a healer. He is definitely more centered around healing than doing damage. Like, obviously they're all more centered around healing, like, or like presumably are. He's like really not like about doing damage. Like he's like about at like mercy levels. Uh but he really relies on you being able to have a lot of like game sense and make those like quick very like snap decisions that you end up, making correctly obviously and like not fucking them up because of his pull ability where he can pull someone towards him. It can save someone's life, but it can also completely fuck up a play and also kind of make your team hate you. Also, when Lifeweaver dies, he drops basically a health pack that you or the enemy team can pick up. So that is a little scary also. But also, This man is such a twink. This man is such a pretty boy. What are they doing over there at Overwatch? They putting soy in the Overwatch machine? They just pumping out little soy boys out here? I thought this was Overwatch. A game for men. A game for manly men to do manly things. I really did not think that I would like Lifeweaver's kit when he was revealed because I like damage. I really like doing damage. I like killing people. The healers I like playing are like Baptiste. I like playing some Brigitte lately. Actually, not really because of her new ultimate change. I don't like it that much. I'm not very good at using it, but I've just started to like her more in general. I also play a lot of Zenyatta, so yeah, I like murder. But Lifeweaver, like I said, not really centered around that. But I got him in Mystery Heroes. They kind of fucking did it again, guys. He's pretty fun. Like, he's not very good right now, but like, man, I had a lot of fun playing him. But I'm really glad they will be fixing his control scheme. Right now, it's very odd. His buttons feel very awkward. Feels very strange, like, in which ways his abilities get activated. The new battle pass is pretty good. I don't love they went with a sci-fi aesthetic for this one, and they have kind of like good guy sci-fi characters and like bad guy sci-fi characters. And the bad guy ones are amazing. They look like Warhammer 40K characters, but the good guy ones are there's a little like they feel a little like vague. Like there's kind of like, oh man, look at Doomfist. He's blue, and like I do like the skin. It's just I don't know. It feels like a little uninspired. But like I said, oh my god, the evil ones are amazing. Mercy has like a veil over her face, and it looks very spooky, very cool. Sigma literally looks like a 40k Astra Militarum like commander. He looks so good. I am a Sigma main, so oh my god. Oh, I can't wait to get that skin. Oh, I want to fucking chew on it. Oh my god, I want to take a bite out of it. Last little note on Overwatch. Man, I thought that I had been losing my touch playing DPS. Like, I was just not doing very well. Never mind, the fucking GOAT's back. What does this say about LeBron's legacy? It says that I'm the best to ever do it. I am putting up kills again. I'm getting on the scoreboard. I'm out here. But really, I have liked playing DPS more lately. I play a lot of Ashe. I play a lot of Junkrat. I've been playing a lot of Soldier 76 lately. I just really like his gun. I love how his gun feels, and I really like his sprint ability. I like being able to get around the map very, very quickly. I love speed. I'm all about speed, and that's why we're rushing towards the end of this podcast. It's coming at you. Thank you so much for joining us as always, folks. This show happens every Wednesday, hopefully. And by the way, you can check out videos every Monday, hopefully, over on the main channel, Casual Classroom. You're at Casual Classroom Podcast. Did you think you were there? You were so foolish. You were mistaken. I'll see you next week, folks, hopefully. But I will. I promise. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.